Do-do-do-do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tom Barnard Family Podcast with
co-host Catherine Brandt,
Alex Bernard Rasmussen,
Andy Brandt Bernard,
and Kristen Burt.
and
Bless you.
Kristen Bird.
Thank you.
No question.
I did mute it.
You did mute it?
And
Yes.
you were quick.
Welcome to the Tom Barnard Podcast. It's brought to you by Brad Sean Bryant, as I already pointed out, but I want to say it again. I got to tell one quick story because it just points out, and I found this hilarious, but it points out how people are getting more and more crazy by the day. I was watching the news this morning.
Oh dear.
And it's hilarious. It's hilarious what this woman tried to do. She was probably about a 40-year-old woman, 35, 40 years old. And she, for some reason, had tattooed her left arm from shoulder to wrist, the entire thing all the way around in black ink.
Yeah, people do that.
sleeves.
That's a sleeve.
Like the blackout sleeves.
Mhm.
They look
Yeah.
horrible.
But
That's
it's
a thing.
no, this was tattooed. Her
Yeah.
arm
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's
It's called a
called a
sleeve.
was from here to here.
Yeah, people do that.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Except for
she
my
did
freckles.
something. She was on an airplane, and they came to get her off the airplane because she had done a few things wrong and tried to cheat people out of money or something. I don't know what she did wrong,
On an airplane?
but I got a really good laugh out of this one. So they come to her, and she refuses to leave. They said, "Ma'am, you're going to have to leave. We're going to have to forcibly remove you. We don't want to do that. You have to leave. You've done several things wrong, blah, blah, blah." But 10 minutes later, they finally talk her into leaving. And as she's walking off the airplane, she said, and I quote,
No, I know where this is going.
"You're only doing this because I'm black."
Yeah.
She actually said that.
I'm guessing she's not well.
I've-
Doesn't sound like she's a well person.
She was serious about it
I think
So she was a
anybody
white lady with a black tattoo
with a
sleeve.
black arm.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Why would you do that, though? It's
I
like,
She probably
don't
thought she was
know.
funny.
no, she was
Oh.
very serious. She
She's
literally
just
thought
mentally
because she
ill.
tattooed her-
People be crazy, you know?
Yeah.
People do be
I
that.
don't know
And
when this whole, I don't ever remember. It seemed like there was like a line in time where people just started
went nuts.
getting kicked off of airplanes
Yeah,
all the
all
time
of a
for
sudden.
bad behavior.
The
Yeah.
shifts happened at the pandemic.
It
Because
did.
people
All
started
of a
going
sudden.
nuts over
Oh,
masks
yeah.
on planes.
That's a good
Remember
point.
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, to close quickly, I would like to say this. Growing up in North Minneapolis, going to St. Joseph's, then St. Anne's, then Jordan, then Minneapolis North, a lot of very different people. A number of them were black. I had never met a person with an arm that black. I got to be very honest with you.
Well, yeah, I don't think black people are generally literally
Pitch black.
That's not a normal color.
In our old building down in Florida, there was a Russian salon that opened up for briefly. It was sort of like the end of COVID, and there was this huge space. It was very expensive. And what they did was they tattooed your face like a different kind of color. Like your whole face would be tattooed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And, you know, Meghan Markle, ever since she became really popular, I guess a lot of people like to get freckles because she's got
Oh,
freckles.
freckles are very
They're
common to get
Oh.
tattooed.
tattooing
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
freckles. I'm like, you do know that those are permanent.
And
when you-
tattooing blush. I think it's different. It's like the eyebrow tattoos where they fade after a while. It's not like a permanent like tattoo.
Oh.
The lip
Oh.
blushing tattoo is also very popular.
Oh,
It
really?
sounds
Yes.
really painful.
Yeah, that's been around forever.
I have a
though.
friend that did that this like spring, and she's one of Fawn's dance friend's moms, and she came to a competition. Her lips were like all swollen and red, and
Yeah.
she was like, I look like a crazy person.
I
Yes.
know a lot of people that do it because as you get older, you lose your lip line. So they
Mm.
just tattoo on a whole
Oh,
new
yeah.
set of lips.
Whole new
I
set of
could
lips.
see it
There you
I
go.
could see doing it when you were older. Like if you already had thin, like I already have thin lips.
I like it when old ladies overdo the lip liner.
Oh, it
That
gets
is-
huge, yeah.
And they got this weird like clown look to them.
I
I used to see
know.
that a lot when I was a kid. I
Cute.
remember they'd have like an inch thick line around their lips, and I was like,
That's
it
weird.
just doesn't look good.
I know,
No.
but they're just trying.
They're doing their best.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's just doing their best.
It is
you
weird
know?
how lips just, they turn inward or something, and then they're
Where
Yeah.
do they go?
just, I know, where do they go?
It's just weird in general if you think about it.
Your
We're the only
ears grow
humans that I'm
longer.
aware of that have lips.
Yeah.
Or I mean, the only animals that I'm aware of that have lips.
Yep, that's true.
That's strange.
Monkeys don't have lips?
I mean, they have lips like dogs and cats do, where they're just
Yeah.
like flaps around their teeth.
These little like I was gonna say
Yeah.
my cats have like little like
Yeah.
Little,
Like
Yeah.
they technically have
black
lips,
cats,
but it's not like a stark different coloration and
Mhm.
different
Right.
texture and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Jude wants to get lip filler, but I said no.
Yeah,
You-
said no.
Sounds like
Just
Had
eat a
to
bee.
cut 'em
You got
off.
lip filler.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. One other quick mention I have to make, which made my day just really get cheerful. There was about a 10-minute little, I didn't even remember where I saw it. Doesn't matter. Looking back at the Addams Family. God, you're probably too young to remember the Addams Family, aren't you?
That was
They've
a
done
long
so
time.
many reboots of the Addams Family that
Oh, have they really?
Yeah.
everybody
I mean-
knows the
Mhm.
Addams Family. And Wednesday,
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday on Netflix is very popular.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? The
Mhm.
original Wednesday?
No, like
No,
it's
there's-
literally called Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just
based
called
off
Wednesday.
of her. Yeah.
Right.
What? I did not know that Mr. Adams, the father of the family,
Gomez?
Gomez, he was only 34
Wow.
in which one? What?
in the very first Adams
No
Family.
way.
He
Really?
was only 34
Well, that's like
years
if
old.
you look at the
Wow.
cast of Cheers,
Yeah, I know.
you will be shocked at their ages.
Really?
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I learned something the other day. I want to like verify this here.
The Golden
This is the-
Girls. They were in their 50s
Yeah.
and they look like they were 100.
I know.
Well, you can draw lines
Yeah.
on pretty easily and
Well,
make people look older.
You know, Frasier.
Yes.
I am older than Frasier.
Yes, you are. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was only 38 when he started that show,
God,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
and you
When he
watch it
started the show.
when he started the show. Yes, when he started.
He had
it.
that big receding
Yes.
hairline.
I mean, I don't have any hair.
Doesn't help.
Yeah.
It doesn't help, but I think it's just he dressed like a academia nerd
Yeah.
that made him look.
Well,
20
and
years
Kelsey
older.
Grammer had a hard drug
And yes.
addiction for a while there.
Yeah,
so-
he had a tough life, a tough childhood. So I mean, that does age you.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think. And it's like The Simpsons. Homer is supposed to be, I think, 42. So I'm only 3 years younger than Homer Simpson when I
Yeah.
remember being the same age as Bart.
Welcome to
Well, I
middle
mean-
age.
I know.
Well, I mean, also like
true,
they, if you look at them, they have young kids. The Simpsons.
Yeah, when I'm 42, I will have a kid about the same age as Bart and Lisa, close anyway.
Bart and
How old are
Lisa.
Bart and Lisa?
I think they're supposed to be 8 and 10, like your kids. So I mean,
Oh, look at that!
I got a little bit, but yeah.
And Dan's going to be 42 in September.
Well, there you go. He is Homer Simpson.
He's on the Homer Simpson plan.
Homer Simpson.
Except for we're not going to have a Maggie.
It all works
No
out.
Maggie.
No
Yeah.
Maggie.
No, please don't do that.
Why?
you.
Can't clap in here. It's too
All
loud.
right.
It's very distracting to the audience. Doesn't know that there's somebody in the corner.
We're having a big
clapping.
night. You got to understand something. We're having a big night. Sage and I are going to, well, Nana's picking up stuff from Snuffy's, like malts and hamburgers.
Snuffleupagus.
And then Sage and I are going to watch the Twins game against Cleveland tonight at 6:30.
Yeah.
Because
And
Sage just went to a Twins baseball camp and got
Yep.
an official Twins outfit.
The jersey and
Got-
the pants and the belt.
Got
I got the jersey signed and 2 bullets signed. One for Bob
All right.
Bob and one for me.
Yeah, by Cody Clemens, a
Yeah,
Twins
by
player.
Cody Clemens. Yep.
He came up and asked a couple questions of the campers. It was at Target Field, so it was really
How
cool.
fun.
Yeah, he got to
run
like
around.
play on the field and stuff.
At the end, I was the one who started all the signatures, actually.
And he ran up to him because there were guys around him that were like, "No signatures, no signatures, no signatures." And Sage
Really?
just walked up to him with a pen and 2
With the
baseballs.
I'll do it, I
seal
won't.
eyes.
Walked up
Who's
to
going to
him,
say no to a kid?
And he just
Yeah.
walked up.
Well, and he was like, "I'll sign some stuff for a bit." Because
Oh,
there
that's
were
very
guys
sweet.
around him that were like, "No!" And
That's
so
nice.
I remember
Very
when
sweet.
Mike Rasmus and I went to Wizard World or whatever,
Wizard World.
Wizard Con, something con,
Oh,
like
yeah.
10 years ago at least.
Mhm.
And we got press passes, but we didn't get some other special kind of pass that you apparently need to talk to and interview people.
Oh, really?
So half the people, they were like, "Oh, where's your special diamond unicorn pass?" And we're like, "I don't know what that
Diamond
is."
Unicorn.
Only one person would talk to us. I don't remember. I wish I could remember who it was. I bet Mike would remember.
From where was this?
Wizard Con, Wizard World, something like that. One
Yeah,
of those
we
things.
sent them on,
Oh, yeah.
on a assignment to put some video up, and I don't know what we ever did. with it.
Yeah. All right. So you were talking about the Gomez Adams. I did look it up.
Yes.
So here's the picture of The Addams Family in 1964. Gomez is, in fact, 34 years old here.
34. He's 34 years
You
old.
would
Oh,
not know
I
it
think-
by looking at him.
I think
Nope.
so. I think that looks like
yeah.
34.
She looks very young.
She looks like she's
Yeah.
12. It's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
And by the way, that servant that I have there standing behind her chair, he's not standing on a box. He is that tall.
Ted Cassidy.
Ted Cassidy. Yep.
Lurch, right?
Lurch.
He was 6'9".
6'9".
Wow.
In this
Back
picture, he was 32.
32 years
Yeah,
old.
that's the crazy one. Lurch there is 32
Well,
years
but
old.
super tall people tend to just look older.
Well, he also had gigantism and died at 46.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, he died at
they don't
46,
live
yeah.
long. It's so sad.
You know.
What a great show, though. Those shows. What was the other one? There was the Addams Family, and there was another one.
The
Monsters?
Monsters.
The Monsters. That's right. The Monsters.
We're
That
the
was-
Monsters. Yep.
She can't wait to be old enough to watch Wednesday.
Wednesday's great.
I still remember one time, I think we were like 14 and 16, and you were downloading ringtones. And this was back before it was an iPhone. It was like, one of those candy bar phones that could play MIDIs
Yeah, the Nokia.
with like a single speaker, one instrument at a time kind of thing. And you downloaded the Monsters theme as a ringtone. And it was like the worst rendition of the Monsters theme I've
terrible.
ever heard of. I still remember it because it was so crappy.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing about the servant that died. He was how old? 38 when he died?
46.
Oh, he's 46 when he died. That was his real voice, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
When he
so
went,
deep.
You rang. That was his real
know.
voice.
Oh, he did not suffer from gigantism.
Oh, he didn't?
That was, apparently his son has
Urban
publicly
legend?
said, no, he was just very tall and had a very large head.
He
Yeah.
didn't
And he
live
didn't even
long.
No, he didn't. He didn't die of being a giant, though. He died of a heart tumor, which is insanely
Ooh.
rare.
Oh, God.
Heart cancer. You almost, no, it was a benign tumor.
Huh.
So, but still, tumors on the heart are something you do not, that's a zebra right there.
It's not good.
Yep.
All right, moving on from our early lives. We're talking what, about 50 years ago now?
1964, so 62 years.
62
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, the Addams Family was in black and white, for heaven's
It
sake.
was.
It was,
Yep.
yes.
So
It
funny.
was. But
Yeah,
that
they
was on
all-
purpose.
Yeah, there's a fog upon LA says, still crazy to believe that the Addams Family and the Munsters only had 2 seasons. I think
I know.
the Jetsons, like one of those things that
Yep.
everyone knows, was on for like 8 months.
Yep. That's
8
right.
months,
Some of
that's
those
it?
Yeah, some of those shows back then. Let me
Well, that's like
verify it.
Spice
here.
Girls.
People of the world.
Yeah.
Everybody
Spice up your life.
They're between their like first and second album and their tour and stuff. It was like 18 months that Spice Girls was like together, and then
Yeah.
they broke up.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, the
Those are
They
the
Jetsons.
18 months.
imploded.
Yes.
The
it was like
Jetsons was
crazy.
September to that next March, so 6 months.
Wow.
The Jetsons was only 6 months.
Yeah,
You guys have to watch the Jetsons.
and yet
You'd
everyone
like
Good
remembers
show.
them.
Meet George Jetson. His
Daughter.
boy Ella. His boy Ella.
I thought they said Jane is right.
Yes, you
Jane
did.
is right. That's what everybody
his
thought.
wife.
But yeah, his
Jane
wife.
is white. Jane is right.
Rastro.
Oh, God.
Ruh-roh.
You know, one of the things I got to tell you
People still do that.
as we move on to find out more what's going on in Hollywood and all the rest of it, one of the things that I love about this show, of all the shows I've ever done through because I've been in all these different, 37 years of KQ and podcasts now for what, 15 years, Andy, or 14?
Coming up on 14 in September.
Yeah, coming up
Oh,
on
gosh.
14 years and all the rest of it. My favorite is this one because, Andy's kids were here last week. There are 3 generations in this room right now. I love that about doing this show. There are 3 generations here. We're all families hanging around. It's
It's not
wonderful.
the stream of consciousness.
We
I
do
love
have
it.
stream of consciousness.
I love that, though. Hey, how many people get to sit and work with 3 generations of their family? That's fantastic.
It's true.
A lot of Japanese people.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a big thing in Japan.
It's
is the
big in
whole
Japan. That's
generational.
exactly right.
So you know how we said Morticia looked like she was 14?
Yes.
Yep.
She was almost the exact same age as Gomez. They were a month apart.
Oh, really?
Really?
Jeez, yeah, she looks really
She
young.
looks-
She had good
34, huh?
skincare.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
She also
that
died
count?
at 53.
She did?
Jeez.
Also of cancer.
Oh, my God. What were they doing on the
Well,
set?
Maybe it was all the
Smoking
maybe
a
it was
lot.
the-
Smoking.
yeah, smoking.
But then
Yep.
there's Gomez, who is still alive.
Gomez is still, and he's like 96 or something.
He is in fact 96.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
Wow.
96, right.
It's
Jeez.
pretty good.
I always loved him. I thought he was terrific.
How old are you?
Also 96.
27. times 3.
He's
no,
like, I believe it. That sounds
I
old.
will be 75 years old on November 7th.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say you should
All
have
right.
guessed.
Kristen, what's going on in
74.
Hollywood?
Yeah.
74.
She's moved on.
Let's go.
Well, it is primetime Emmy nomination day, so
Ooh.
lots of snubs.
Oh,
The
really?
biggest snub went to Taylor Sheridan. Landman
really?
got
Why?
nothing. The Madison got nothing. All of his shows. The only thing I believe that they got was like a stunt nomination.
Really?
Are people
Which
just
is-
sick of him, do you think?
You know what? I do think that there's something to be said about spreading yourself too thin across
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many TV
Yeah.
shows. I think if he had just had, let's say, Landman and the Madison, probably the most critically well received of his entire series, I think that we might have seen something. But when you're like, oh, am I watching Tulsa? I'm watching this. I'm watching. And people just get too caught up, and it's just too
Yeah.
much. You spread
that's
yourself
like-
too thin.
I don't know hardly anything about Taylor Sheridan other than that one show that first started
Yellowstone?
everything.
They're all the same
Yellowstone.
thing. Every
And
last
then
one's
you
the same.
guys were talking about him last week, and I was like, how many freaking shows does this guy have?
Oh,
Didn't he have like 3
A lot.
concurrent
It's
shows
crazy.
at the same time?
All the time, because you've got the
Yeah, all the time.
Madison, you've got Landman,
Marshalls was one, right?
Marshalls was the #1 show on broadcast television this television season,
Weird. that
Really?
They didn't even get
I didn't know
anything.
that.
and it was probably one of the worst reviewed. Like everyone
Yeah.
was like, "This is not his best one at all," and guess what? Everybody watched it.
Yep.
Doesn't make any
Aren't
sense.
they all kind of the same thing,
Yes.
too?
Yeah, they
Well,
tend to be.
kinda.
Yeah.
I
that's
mean, it's
true.
all, yeah, it's we're out on the range and rustling up some
Justice
cattle.
must
And,
prevail.
Pretty formulaic. I think that's
Yeah.
the problem with his shows.
Well, yeah, it's like, why do you need 5, 6, 7 shows that are all the exact same?
Well, Hollywood's been doing that forever.
See, what
Yeah.
he should have done is gone back to like, in the 50s and 60s when they were going all crazy. And he should have had like, Yellowstone circa the year 3000.
Kristen, who is the one really big star that he did not get along with?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
That's exactly. What was
Kevin
that all
Costner.
about?
It's just a battle of egos. I mean, between the two
Yeah.
of them, that was just them butting heads. But I will
Yep.
say that Taylor Sheridan doesn't necessarily have a reputation of being difficult in Hollywood, but Kevin Costner does.
Oh,
So-
yes, he does. Yep.
Yeah, but of course, if Taylor Sheridan before Yellowstone, Kevin Costner's career had kind of fallen off. So you should be grateful to the person who brought you back to the masses.
Right. Right.
And to be able to work in Hollywood when you're in your 60s and 70s
Yeah.
is a good thing. And
Yeah.
it's important to have people of all different generations and decades on TV, but unfortunately they're not oftentimes writing those roles, and Taylor had the perfect role for him. And Kevin just, gets to the point he always wants to put his handprint all over everything. Like, I
Yeah.
want my character to do this, and this is what you need to do. And he tries to
Right.
pull his weight. But I also sometimes think it's not 1989 anymore. You're not
Right.
Kevin Costner, the movie star, anymore.
Yeah.
That's very, very true. But they don't. They don't want to admit that, do they?
Well, they get celebrity syndrome, and that's it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
They want it again.
And think about it. He went and, put his fortune into Horizons thinking, oh, that Yellowstone audience is going to follow me into
Oh,
a 3-part
yeah.
Western saga. He lost millions of his
Really?
fortune because he put part of his Santa Barbara area home, estate, I should say, like up as collateral on this.
Ugh.
Well, you got to hand it to him. He put his money where his mouth was, even if it didn't work out.
It did not work out. I mean, he
That's sad.
ate about
Well-
$50 million.
They still, I mean,
Ooh.
they've apparently they wrapped season 2, right? They just haven't released it. So
Yes.
theoretically, he could
The
make,
second film was, and it actually was shown. I believe it was the Venice Film Festival a couple of years ago, but
Yeah.
not a single studio picked it up, and not a single streamer picked it up either.
that's
Wow.
so crazy.
It is pretty amazing. I gotta
crazy.
do a quick read here, and we'll be just back in 60 seconds. All right. You ever seen a case where someone decided to represent themselves in court? Did it go well? Of course not, because law is hard. That's why I recommend Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers. They're going to help you navigate the labyrinth that is the justice system. If you've been injured, need legal help, just visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com or call 320-259-5414 to talk to one of the great lawyers at Bradshaw and Bryant. And now back to Kristen. Who's better than Kristen? That'd be no one.
Nobody.
That's all we have to say. Nobody at all. What's that look? I'm getting a look
Fawn
from a
wants to be the best.
grandchild.
Yes, I think she wants to be better than Kristen.
You want to be better than Kristen?
As soon as you start doing Hollywood and reporting,
What is that?
you'll probably be really good at it.
Hollywood reporting?
So when you report on Hollywood,
Fawn says no.
We can
He's like, "No, I
talk
won't."
about all of the exciting shows. That's all you need
Yes,
to do.
entertainment.
TV shows,
Well,
movies,
exactly
all that.
right. There's no
Taylor
question about it.
Sheridan.
Yeah. So
All
Taylor
right, so
Sheridan
who-
was snubbed. Some of the other big snubs, Stranger Things, because that was the last season, of course.
Mm,
The Boys, that was the last season for that one. Ashley
Yeah.
Padilla, who was the big breakout star on Saturday Night Live this year. Surprising that she wasn't nominated for a comedy Emmy. But I think that there were some other good surprises. We've got Rob Reiner, who was nominated for a posthumous Emmy.
Oh,
I
that's
know.
nice.
He has a role
Yeah.
in The Bear, the final season. So,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is really sweet.
That's too bad.
He's
So
really
who won
good in it too.
the
King of all Emmys.
stuff?
Who was the Emmy King?
The Emmy King, well, it's a race between all of the streamers as usual. HBO Max, 122 nominations in total. That covers below the line. You know, we're talking writing and directing and everything else
Yeah.
too. Netflix at 111. And so everyone thought Netflix was going to be number one. HBO
Huh.
Max was number one. Apple, 87, which was probably their best showing yet. So
Yeah, they don't have as much content as
No,
you think.
they don't.
Yeah.
they don't, but they've got the studio fared well for them. Pluribus fared well for them. So Shrinking. So they do have some shows that are definitely in the mix. Widow's Bay, another good one. So
So does did the Emmys have a best actor, best actress?
they do. Depending on the category, they have like
So there's
drama
no just like
categories.
there's no just like overall best actor / actress like there is at the Oscars.
No, because you have dramas, you have comedies, and then you have like anthology or limited run. I think the
Who was-
big one is Paul Anthony Kelly, who played John F. Kennedy Jr. He did not get nominated in the anthology.
Who was best comedy? Because I always wonder because I never hear about comedy showings anymore.
Well, The Bear always gets nominated, which you're like, that is not a funny show
No.
if you've watched The Bear. Hacks is in the mix again, Abbott
Mhm.
Elementary. It's usually like the usual players, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember
When it-
there was a period, probably about 20 years ago, when we as a family would always look for stuff to watch, and I am like almost exclusively comedy. That's what I like, lighthearted movies, that sort of thing. And we'd always go into the comedy section, and there would be a whole bunch of movies calling themselves a black comedy,
Yeah.
and we'd watch them, and they were like the least. They didn't even attempt to be funny in any way. They just used the term black comedy almost as if like they were like tag stuffing or something. Do movies still do that?
I mean, there definitely are dark comedies, black comedies that out there, but
These weren't comedies, is what I'm saying. Is they were just straight up like
Oh, well,
horrors or dramas or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I think The Bear, because The Bear's in this like weird thing where it's not necessarily a drama and it's not necessarily a comedy, but they just figure it's easier to win in the comedy category, and they have.
Well, there you
Even
go.
though it's
Yeah.
not a comedy. Yeah, and you even deal with that with something like Sex in the City. It's more of a dramedy, you know, if you go back to
Sex in
all
the
of
City,
those
I would
years.
argue, still counts as a comedy. You know, it
Corny
attempts to be
comedy.
funny. Yeah,
It
exactly.
attempts. Yeah, it's definitely
It
corny.
tries at least to be funny.
Yeah, there's no, oftentimes you're just trying to fit, what is it, a square peg into a round hole with some of
Right.
the categories when it
Mhm.
comes to the Emmys. But, they do what they can. I will say that the Television Academy, to their credit, has tried to keep up with the times, created categories where they felt they've need to, split off categories where they've had to, limited, because before limited series was lumped into dramas or comedies, and everything was getting all mixed up, and so they split that off. So we do have like those limited series that are just one off, that are able to just have their own category now, which is good.
T. Lar says heavy on the attempts to be. Well, I'm giving them credit because they
Yeah.
want to be funny.
Yeah.
Not that I think I would laugh at a single moment in Sex in the City, but comedy's subjective.
Well, and Sex in the City does not hold up very well because it was so of the time.
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at it now, a lot of the jokes didn't age well, fashion, technology. You just have to look at it for what it was. It was a late 90s, early 2000s period piece, essentially,
Yeah.
of what life was like in New York City. If you were very wealthy,
Yeah.
and
Right.
not the rest of the rest of
Yeah.
the people living in New York City. I mean, that wasn't my experience living in New York City when I was living in my West Village studio and
You
scraping
weren't
by on my
constantly going to
$5
Bliss.
meals.
Yeah, you weren't going to Bliss Spa every 5 seconds and shopping at Tiffany's. Really? You weren't?
And buying my Louboutins. No, I was more like buying my 9 West heels. And wearing heels in the city off you I mean, that is a very singular experience. You're getting like picked up in a car, dropped off someplace,
Right.
going home in a car because if you're taking the subway, you are wearing sneakers or flats or something that's
Right.
comfortable. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Funny.
it's so funny. But the the primetime Emmys are September 14th on NBC, and Mariska Hargitay is the host.
Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska
I don't think I know
Hargitay
who
Say that 5 times fast.
Who is this?
Who?
from SVU. She plays Detective Olivia Benson, who's been
She's
on
like
TV.
the main gal. Yeah.
It's Hungarian. I was going to say, what kind
Oh,
of
her.
language is
Okay.
that?
I know who she is. Just didn't know her name.
There you
Yes,
go.
she's the daughter
Right.
of Jane Mansfield
Really?
and
Oh,
Mickey
yeah.
Hargitay. Yeah,
Hargitay.
I did not
she was
know that.
in. I believe she was in the car when her mother passed away. She was the little one.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a shame.
Mhm.
Good God, that's a little sad.
Yeah.
Wait, Mansfield was the accident, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The-
Mhm.
So, Mariska was one of the kids in that car during that
Yeah.
accident?
Yep.
Oh, well.
She got hit by a semi or something.
Well,
didn't
the driver ran into the back of a semi.
Oh, that's what it was.
Didn't
Okay.
go well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember that happening. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hargitay and 2 of her brothers were in that car crash as well. But they
Mariska
were all
was
fine.
3.5 at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
She apparently she's got a zigzag scar because of the accident.
I'm glad we never went through that in this family.
Decapitation.
Me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
decapitation.
Me too.
Yes,
Decapitation.
exactly.
Very, very
That's
grateful.
exactly
Mhm.
right. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, anything new coming up that I should look forward to watching?
There are 2 shows coming out tomorrow.
Here we go.
The first one is the 5-Star Weekend, and that is rich women again, always in peril, because they love. Right now, there is just such a huge movement of taking books and adapting them to TV. This is one of Ellen Hildebrand's Nantucket novels. It stars Jennifer Garner's in it. Judy Greer is in it. It's a good cast. Regina Hill is in it. And it's about a woman who loses her husband in an accident. She invites her 5 girlfriends from different parts of her life to spend a weekend at her Nantucket estate. And of course, everyone's dark secrets are revealed.
What's it called?
The 5-Star Weekend. It's very good. It's on Peacock.
Alex has a new
like,
show.
It's like folding
I ju-
laundry.
I'm like,
show.
I always need a folding laundry show.
Yes.
I spend 2 to 3 hours a week folding laundry.
Oh,
so
believe
I'm
me,
like,
I
I
know.
need.
Yeah, between all the sports, dance, and
Mhm.
regular gear.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
God, yes.
each of my husband, me, both my children, we wear like, yes, athletic clothes each day, pretty much, regular clothes, pajamas.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, we have to go
Towel
at least
sheets, yep.
at least a load every single day.
Absolutely.
yeah, and we have dogs, so we have to wash
The dog
blankets all the
blankets,
time. Yeah.
yep, mhm.
All
and
the
the
things.
blankets for all the various beds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jennifer
Wow.
Garner's very good in it. I've got 2 more episodes left of my screeners. It's a
Oh.
nice breezy.
I love Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, she's great. She is just delightful, honestly.
I was gonna say, she just seems
Chloe
like a great
Sevigny's in it.
person.
Like it's a really good cast. Like really strong female actresses are in it. The
I'm
other
sorry.
show to watch is Little House on the Prairie. Comes back
Oh,
tomorrow
yeah.
on Netflix.
What?
Yes.
Really?
And this is a
Same cast?
reimagining of the series. So everyone, it's not the Michael Landon series that everyone watched
I
on
love
NBC.
Michael Landon.
I know.
He was
Although
such a good paw. Everybody wanted a paw like him.
he was a great paw, but you did not want to be married to him, Catherine, in real life.
No.
So
Really?
The character.
the
The
character.
character of the man. The man. What did he do?
He had an affair, a big, this is a story that Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls on the series, talks about a lot. His first wife, and I don't know her name, but was a big part of, would come on set, bring their kids and everything, and Melissa would play with them. And Michael had an affair with the makeup artist on the set of Little House.
Oh, God.
And so all of the kids were exposed to this. And then, of course, he divorces his first wife. Like, it was very traumatic for the kid actors to just see all of this turmoil. And, and then the makeup artist is involved. And then the first wife goes away because it really was a family set. Although Michael Landon wasn't doing family things on the set. So, but she just talks about how impactful that was and how she was mad at Michael Landon for a very long time. In a kid way, too. You're trying to process all of that.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Are most of these Hollywood affairs like that are real? But some of them are made up, aren't they? That never happened. I'm not saying in this case, but sometimes they never happen,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, we definitely have PR relationships where two actors needing good publicity back in the day. And sometimes even now in 2026, sometimes people will try to hide their sexuality and will date someone just to kind of divert all of that. It happens,
Sure.
definitely happens.
You know what's funny about that? I got to make this statement because, I scroll through all different kind of news stories and this and that and all the rest of it. Yes, I understand Raymond Burr was gay. God, they bring it up like 10 times a day on some of those networks.
In your algorithm,
Yeah,
apparently.
just keep in your.
He's got his,
Oh, is that what it is? Well, I did love
old
that
Hollywood
show.
stars who are gay algorithm. It's very specific.
I never
Tom.
have any of that popping up.
But I mean, I love that show. I always watch that show. What was it called again? I can't remember.
Ironside?
Perry.
Perry Mason?
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason. There you go.
Oh, I thought it
That's
was
right, isn't
I
it?
have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, Perry Mason.
Perry
That was a
Mason.
good show. I liked.
Yeah.
But see, to me, I didn't have a dad around, so he was kind of like
He was your paw.
he was my paw in a way,
See? Catherine had Michael Landon, who was very handsome, like a very like a lot of
so
hair.
nice, but he was so understanding and explained things to the girls, and he was just like such a great dad.
That
to
was
Mary
Paul.
and Laura.
Yeah.
We read all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I read those.
And I read all
probably
those
watch
books
it.
growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And for anyone who did read the books, the Netflix show is going to stick true to the Laura Ingalls Wilder books, where the
nice.
NBC series kind of took creative license of the show.
Yeah.
So the very first season is, and it already got picked up for season 2 ahead of its premiere. So you can invest in this because Netflix right now is canceling things really quickly. Little House on the Prairie will focus in on the Ingalls family, and they move from Wisconsin. They move instead of to Minnesota. If everyone remembers Walnut Grove in the NBC series, they're actually going to Independence, Kansas, which is what is in the books.
Oh.
And if you're looking for Nellie Olson, which of course the person who was Laura Ingalls' arch enemy, she's not introduced until season 2. So you have to wait a whole season.
So the town in Minnesota is a lie
It's a lie.
because I think they have Laura Ingalls
they have
Wilder
a-
Days in Walnut Grove,
They-
Minnesota.
they do,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all a lie. It is
They have
Independence.
Ingalls House.
Yep, it is Independence, Kansas, and that is where Laura Ingalls Wilder was raised in Kansas.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a long time since I read those books.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you the last time I pulled up a Laura Ingalls Wilder, and I feel like it's kind of like 8 to 10, maybe 6 to 10 in those years where you're looking at it, and then you start moving on to the tween stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
When was
love-
Little House on the Prairie written? 1935.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on
Really
100
old.
years.
Yeah.
But I feel like it fits right into that perfect genre right now of the Hallmark shows that do very well. You look at When Calls the Heart on Hallmark, Call the Midwife on PBS. all of those type of shows do very, very well, and I think it feels like the right time to bring Little House back and do a fresh version of it. Remember, it's we can't even call it a companion piece. This is definitely a reimagining because Netflix is doing something different than what NBC did.
Okay.
So I know you only got a couple of minutes left, but I got to ask you this. You know, I grew up, there was network television. Network television doesn't even matter anymore. Kind of like, you know, morning radio. Morning radio is just, I mean, there's still stations out there, but nobody listens to them, unfortunately. Same with television. I don't think even local news is doing all that well anymore. But I mean, so how do we move on to the next part to find out information? If you can't get it on morning radio or evening news, how are people getting their information
Social
locally?
media mostly.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
Twitter.
social media.
Mostly,
Social
yeah.
media is where people get their info, and you have to be really careful, like who you're listening to. But
Mm.
I think that's why we've
Yeah.
seen such a big rise of independent journalism.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing. I mean, it was an independent journalist who actually was the one, if you take a look at what's happening with Mitch McConnell, that was the one who started going, wait a minute,
He's been gone for weeks.
he's been gone
Yeah.
for weeks. And with
Yeah.
actually, she's the one who went and got the 911 call released. So you
Mhm.
start realizing that independent journalism is where it's kind of headed, because I feel like all of the big network news organizations, their hands are tied and they're all afraid of getting sued. And it's independent journalists who are really leading the way.
Yep, that's true.
No, I have one more question. I know you got to go. You're a busy woman, all the rest of it. But, yeah, we just talked about the fact that people don't watch the evening news anymore. They don't listen to morning radio anymore. They don't do, you know, all these different things. But I'm kind of giving people warnings that if you only get your news from podcasts, podcasts can be very, very negative. That's the only, I mean, particularly news-focused podcasts can be really negative.
You certainly can.
So why would you want to get your news from something that negative?
I mean, I think certain people only want to hear one point of view. You should be looking
Yep.
at news
Yeah,
sources
good
that are
point.
unbiased, because most podcasts are going to have a slant.
finding
They're going to
one.
go one way or the other. I don't,
Right.
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I can't even think of a single one that's just straight down the middle.
Well, it's
No, that's
profitable
true.
to have a slant because it gets you
Yes,
a
it
lot
Yeah,
of
it
views.
is.
Yep,
It
Yeah.
A
is.
lot of views.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I just love coming on this show and hanging out with my family. Works for me.
That's all we need to do.
I like it. All right. We will talk to you on Friday.
Friday. Yes, I will be here.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, my
See you
dear.
guys then.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's the best in the business, don't you think?
Best in the
Absolutely.
business.
Don't you think it's true?
It's true.
I do.
All right. We're going to take a break here.
Oh, well, we are.
Well, the segment is brought to you by Michael Bryan of Bradshaw and Bryan Personal Injury Lawyers. Visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com to learn more. Is our guest ready to go in?
Our guest
Yes.
is
he's
ready.
backstage.
Yeah.
Jason Rumbaugh, correct? That's how you say your last name?
Yeah, you said it right.
I'm glad I got it right. Says, my name is Jason Rumbaugh. I'm a Purple Heart recipient, Iraq war veteran, Wisconsin. But remind me never to piss you off, okay? Very early on. Wisconsin-based author of, where in Wisconsin?
I live right in the middle, Wausau.
Oh, in
Wausau.
Wausau. It's a great town.
Yeah.
Wisconsin-based author of Waves of Shrapnel, A Soldier's Journey, a raw, darkly funny. I like that.
No, there's that black comedy.
There you go. An unfiltered memoir
There's a
based
lot of
on my
dark humor in
experience.
there, yes.
I bet, yes.
Yeah.
Based on his experiences during the Iraq War, difficult transition back to civilian life. I want to talk quite a bit about that when I'm done reading this, because that's a very good point you just made there. The book covers everything from surviving an IED blast and dealing with toxic leadership to the bonds between soldiers, building a life overseas, and the lasting effects of war after coming home. Readers have connected with its honest, behind-the-scenes look at military life that often doesn't make it into official reports. So again, I mean, looking back here, you've won a lot of awards. I mean, you've been, well, I'm going to shut up because I want to hear it from your perspective. All of this you went, first of all, where did you grow up in Wisconsin?
No, I grew up in Port Angeles, Washington. That's probably about the most northwest you can get before hitting Canada, right across from Victoria.
Oh,
How'd you
excellent.
end up in Wisconsin, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a long, weird journey, actually.
Okay.
We
Just
just
say.
basically, let's just say when I got I got out of the Army in 2006. I just didn't really have a lot of luck in the job front. So plus I had a lot of issues. And so I kind of like moved around from job to job. And then my buddy who lived in Wisconsin said, hey, why don't you come over here and try it out? And I went over here and I worked for a little bit. And then I got to a point where I could use my GI Bill finally and go back to school, and got my degree. And yeah, long story short, now I'm here and wrote a book. And yeah, it was kind of a long, weird journey.
It's interesting how your bio mentions Purple Heart and shrapnel, because my grandpa, would be her father, got a Purple Heart in World War II from embedded shrapnel after an artillery shell blew up near him.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he almost died. He was
Yeah.
in the hospital for 3 or 4 months
God.
after
Oh, wow.
after they got shelled.
Yeah.
He always, he never talked about being in service
No, never.
until he
No.
got much older.
Mhm.
And I could ask him questions because otherwise he just didn't want to talk about it. But I asked him, I said,
Right.
were you afraid of all the gunfire all the time? He said, gunfire didn't bother me a bit. It was the bombs that everybody could.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
because you didn't
There
know
you
where
go.
they were going to land. You could hear them, but you couldn't see them sometimes. And it was,
Yeah.
those were the scary things.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like it kind of sounds like from what he says, it was the same thing with us, because we weren't really scared of gunfire. Also, I think one of the the ongoing jokes when I was serving overseas was the safest place to be when the enemy is shooting at you is right in front of his AK-47. So basically,
Yeah.
they would.
That sounds counterintuitive.
They weren't
It
very good
really
shots over
does.
there.
Yes.
They weren't very good shots over there. But
okay.
anyways, but what did bother us and what did scare us and frighten us were the roadside bombs and IEDs, which
Yeah.
sounds like what your grandparent went through in World War II, and that's what did scare us, is these bombs and these explosions.
Yeah, he couldn't.
and That was the only way they could get us, honestly.
He was so filled with shrapnel, he couldn't have an MRI.
Yeah. They couldn't take it
Oh
out.
goodness.
Well, I'm sure it was
Oh,
embedded in
goodness.
him for like,
Oh.
what, 50, 60 years?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Yeah,
it's not
Oh,
coming out
wow.
at that point.
no,
Yeah.
Jason, you think we'll ever get to a point where,
stop having wars.
stop having war?
Probably
So
not.
her father's story, is not going to happen. I have a brother that did 2 tours in Vietnam, and he just
Mhm.
died about 3 weeks ago now, maybe
Not long. Yeah.
about a month ago now, maybe.
Few
But
months.
yeah, he did 2 tours in Vietnam. Is there ever going to come an era where we don't talk about a family member that had to go to war?
Yeah, that's kind of what this book is about. Honestly, I bring that up.
Excellent.
Readers
Excellent.
aren't going to. I'm not going to shy away from that. I was a little hesitant to get even somewhat political, and then I was just like, you know what, screw it. And so in my book, readers will find out.
Yeah.
Readers will find out that it is an anti-war book, and that war should be a last resort measure. Because as you said, it does feel like every single generation has to go to war. And let me give you a sad example. I was just talking to, I don't want to say sad example, but I was just talking to my buddy Sean Minks. This was like 5 or 6 years ago, and I didn't realize how long time had just flown by. And his son served in the same war that he did 12 years later. Like he went to,
Oh, wow.
you know what I mean? Like he went to Afghanistan. Okay, no, actually, I'm sorry. He went to a different theater. He went to Afghanistan, where we went to Iraq. But still, it's the same
Yeah.
Conflict. Yeah.
Yeah.
war on terror. And it's like, dude, and Vietnam was how long? Like 13 years. And it's like, we just always get into these conflicts every 10, 15, 20 years. And it's just, these interventionist wars are just so damaging to our society beyond the debt
No
that
question.
they put us in. That's what they always bring up this debt that they, and it's like, no, I'm like, that is terrible. Right. But you don't think about the lives that are destroyed, the,
Right.
Sure.
the relationships, the families that are destroyed from these wars. And that's kind of what my book talks about near the end, of course.
Right.
But yeah, no, I just hope people enjoy my book. It is a dark comedy adventure. And of course, it's kind of geared towards men ages 18 to 55, that are interested in military memoirs and whatnot. But I mean, even my aunt, who's 84, she read it and she really enjoyed it. And it just feels good being heard and having my story being heard, and that other people are enjoying it.
Sorry, we're making a
Sorry,
face, but one of the kids is screaming out
We
there.
have a skirmish upstairs. With
Oh no!
small skirmish.
We have another war going on.
Oh,
It's really. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
that's okay. I'm just happy that my mother-in-law didn't walk in and interrupt this yet.
Could be a joyful skirmish. We don't know.
Joyful
Sometimes you
skirmish,
can't
that's
tell the
true.
difference with kids. With
That
their
is very,
little high
very true.
voices. What drove you to write the book?
It was kind of there was kind of a lot of reasons. It was kind of being written in my head for a long time, and I guess it was just something that I thought I would do eventually, but like does eventually ever come around? And so
Not till you get off
you know what I mean?
grass.
And so I read this. I was in Mexico like a couple years ago with my wife, and we were on the beach, and I was reading this memoir. And it was just, it didn't grab me. It was really boring. And I just thought, man, maybe I could just write a book about, my time in service, because I had always wanted to anyway. And this stinker of a memoir kind of motivated me to do it. And I'm one of these guys that I get kind of excited about things, and then like I dump it like a week later. So I was surprised that I actually stuck it out and finished the book. It took me like a year and a few months.
That's not
I
bad.
got it done, and no, I'm just really happy that people are enjoying it, basically.
Well, I'm glad that you've lightened it up from what it sounds like. And by the way, you reached out to us, from what I understand. Is that correct?
Yes. Actually,
How'd you know?
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, how did you find it? Because I mean, I suppose the podcast does pretty well over in Wisconsin, but maybe not the whole state.
Right. No, so basically my one and only assistant, since I'm an independent author, has been ChatGPT, and they told me to get a hold of you guys. So
that's I'm glad to hear that.
Where AI loves us.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
AI loves you guys.
Well, no, I mean, we were just talking about it before you came on. We were talking about the fact that we don't do the usual I'm taking a side and I hate everybody else that's not on my side, which is what a lot of podcasts are now. Very negative on one side, and they're very negative on the other side. And I mean, this is there are 3 generations of the family in this house right now, as there are most days when we do a podcast. It's a big part of this whole situation. And, luckily, I mean, you look at World War II, people came home, they were heroes. You look at Vietnam, people came home, they were evil and horrible. Spit on by people.
Terrible.
How is it now when you come home from war?
It's interesting you brought that up, because there was this Vietnam vet that came up to me the other day, and he was like, "Hey man, like how have they been treating you since you got back?" And obviously I've been out of the Army 20 years, so it wasn't like
right.
A fresh thing. But when I got out, I would say I felt like kind of clueless as far as like how to reintegrate back into civilian life. And like for example, I remember I got a water bill in the mail, like after I got so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. I got a water bill in the mail, and I was like, I gotta pay for effing water? What? like I was so like lost when I got out. Like I had no idea. And then I was like, I gotta pay for trash? Oh my God. Like,
isn't this part of my property taxes?
I know, because the Army, they just take care of everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I was kind of like, I guess when I got out, I mean, before I joined the Army, I lived with one of my buddies for like a couple years, and that was, so I didn't really know anything about paying bills and all this stuff. And so I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make ends meet? But anyways, I felt, besides like feeling underprepared, I do feel like I got a lot of pats on the back, and
well, that's great.
People knew, I think, learned their lessons from the Vietnam generation, and they learned that that doesn't help anybody or anything. Spitting on people
Yeah.
and calling them baby killers.
Yeah.
Certainly nobody I knew killed any babies, but I don't know where I was going with that, but
Well, I mean,
basically, no, I mean, I think that society kind of learned their lesson, and they kind of take a better approach to veterans. Of course, there's still that disconnect because we're at a point now in our history where we have, 17 veteran suicides per day.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
God, really? 17?
And so, yeah,
God.
I try to bring that up every time I'm on a radio or podcast just to let people know, because that isn't talked about enough in mainstream media at all. And I think that's heavily because we're always at war, and it's so costly on service members, soldiers, Marines, airmen, Navy. And it's not only costly, physically, like them getting harmed. It's like it's mentally taxing being away from your family, and getting shot at, having explosions by you and everything, and just feeling that stress of missions. It just eats you up. It really does. You can be the toughest guy in the world, and yeah,
a wasp flies into my house, and I'm like, got to get ready for battle.
Yeah,
I'm on high adrenaline mode for the next 6 hours. So I don't think I would make a good soldier.
Just call Fawn.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old daughter would be like a wasp.
Honestly, I think everybody's kind of a crappy soldier at first, and then they go through basic training and everything.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And they either make it or don't. I mean, that's just kind of how it is.
Well, it's interesting you mention coming back from the military and having a hard time integrating back into civilian life, but you still chose to do that.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I mean, it was either that or go back to Iraq. So
yeah, so you would rather have integrated back into civilian life than stayed in the military then.
Correct. Yeah, it got to a point where I was questioning, as much as I loved the Army, in 2006, it was either get out or re-enlist. And I knew if I re-enlisted, I'd probably be looking at another couple tours in Iraq or Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, not only is that costly mentally, but it would have been costly for my family, because let's be honest, out of most of my military friends, over half of them are divorced because of all these these tours and combat and everything. And
we have comedians on our show.
I didn't want to have a broken family, and
right.
We have comedians on the show all the time, and they always talk about how hard it is to be on the road, not seeing your family, and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, that's, going off to a different hemisphere. That's a completely different universe from just being on the road in America, and that's already hard enough.
Right. Yeah. I have heard a lot of. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
I'm sorry. Well, I've been thinking about it, and it's probably just like in my head, but it seems like the soldiers that ended up after Vietnam, going into Afghanistan or all that stuff in the Middle East, it seems like that area, or is it because the soldiers have access to drugs when they're over there, or why is it so hard now for soldiers to come back and live, have functioning lives? I mean, is it because they're not getting support from the government? Is it they're not debriefed long enough? Is there not enough mental health services? Is it drugs? What is it that makes it so hard now? Because I'm sure it was always hard, but they didn't have the access to all the different kinds of drugs and things when they came home to use. I mean, they're like when my dad came back, he could have been a heroin junkie. We had heroin back in those days.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't have all the other stuff that they've got.
But he was an alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a lot.
Oh,
of
that's a
people
lot
were
different. That's a
alcoholics.
lot different than fentanyl.
It
lot,
is, but
lot
it's-
different than.
But still, I mean, the
Right.
alcoholism rates, I think back then, especially among World War II vets.
Yeah, but you didn't find so many homeless vets, and and there were a lot of soldiers that came back from World War II.
I think a lot of that is because back then, I mean, World War II, if you were military age during World War II, I think you had something like a 50-50 shot of getting drafted. So tens of millions of men were coming home after World War II. So, you know,
think that
but now
also
I
our
think the odds,
society.
I think the odds of going to war as a military aged man these days is like maybe 5%, maybe a tenth of that.
Yeah.
So society just isn't built up around the military like it used to be.
Right. And I think our society was a lot more giving to soldiers after World War II, also with
Exactly.
the GI Bill benefits and everything that were coming out during FDR's presidency and the, what do you call it? I'm forgetting my history now. But anyways, no, I feel like there was a lot more benefits and everything and a lot more, not more benefits. There was a lot more societal support for veterans back then.
Right, because back then,
in World War II, but for some reason, Vietnam, the war was demonized, and people were against the soldiers when they came home. When it actually wasn't their fault, they were drafted. You know, most of them.
Yep.
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, back then, if a president said, "Hey, I'm going to increase benefits for veterans," you know, you've got like 50% of the country right there that you're promising benefits to. Now, if you say that today, it's maybe 10% of the country, if that. It's not as popular of a position as it used to be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
So it isn't what they saw in action. It's the support that they get when they come back.
I think so, yes.
Right. And I think that there's also the disconnect where like people don't really understand us, for example, or give us a chance a lot of times. So for example, and I hate to like give you a boohoo sob story. It's not really much of one, but anyways, I went to school and my first job when I got out was working at Social Security. And I actually couldn't wait to have like a nice office government job because I thought it would be more like calming and veteran friendly and more understanding. Like I would get panic attacks from just feeling so overwhelmed there. And I would ask like, can I go outside and just get a 5-minute break, boss, you know, or something like that. And it was kind of like the sentiment was, well, Jason, if I give you a break, then I'd have to give everyone breaks, you know? And,
yeah.
And I'm like, did the other ones like almost die from IEDs? Or did the other ones lose friends right next to them? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
That was, you know, you know, but at the same time, there was this other lady who worked there, and she'd take like an 1.5-hour lunch break. I'm not even joking, and nobody would say a thing to her, and it was just frustrating. Just little examples like that, and
Sure.
I don't know. That was just like the first thing I could think of at the top of the head, but it just feels like, you know, that example just kind of reflects a lot of veterans where just people don't understand them, and it's really hard to like connect with people a lot of times. And I think that's where that disconnect is. And a lot of veterans just feel alone when they come home, because when you're serving, you have that team around you and that cohesion. And then when you get out, you're on your own and you have to figure it out. You don't have those guys behind you anymore.
Right.
That's the part that really hurts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that. You know, you gave me this great memory back in the late 60s and early 70s, you know, at the height of the Vietnam conflict and all the rest of it. I had an unpaid job of all my friends that came back from Vietnam, and we'd go out to a bar and people would find out they were either a U.S. Marine or United States Army or Navy or whatever it was. And I would have to go around the room and ask people very nicely, please don't piss these guys off. They just got back from, you know, horrible conflicts and all the rest of it. And I'm not threatening you or anything. I'm just trying to have a good time. Matter of fact, I'll buy a round of drinks before I leave you. But this is one of those arguments you're never going to win. So please, let's just all have a good. And I used to do that about, at least once a week. I would go around the bars and calm everybody down. Just say, look, they were drafted, as you already brought up. Most of them were drafted in. So it wasn't even their choice to go off to this war. They were serving their country. Let's remember the serving the country part, shall we?
Right.
And most people, I will tell you, they did calm right down. Like I said, I bought them a round of drinks and everything, and it settled down. But people really had an attitude about that whole time. It was, man, there were a lot of fights over that thing.
Yeah.
No
It
question.
makes no sense. I don't know why you'd get somebody angry at somebody who had no choice in the matter. They got drafted.
Right.
What were, it was either that or they run off to Mexico or Canada for a couple of years, like
Yep.
So
No, it's very true.
I think maybe it was just fashionable maybe back then to be a hippie and spit on veterans or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, I can't remember one person that continued on after I talked, because I never threatened them or said, hey, you're going to get your ass kicked or anything like that. I just said, these guys had a tough time. Please remember they were drafted. This was not their choice. So please don't go after somebody who served their country honorably. And it wasn't even their choice to do it, but they did it anyway.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, I haven't used that sentence in about 50 years now.
How old
You
were
know.
you when you enlisted?
I was 20 when I enlisted. It was so I
Oh,
waited
wow.
I
Very
graduated
young.
from high school and I tried to do college for a couple of years, and then I was just probably too immature for college at the time, and so
There you go.
I
But
joined
perfect
the
for
Army.
war.
Yeah.
Perfect for war. There you
Not
have
old
it.
enough to buy beer yet, but I love it. I love it.
So, I mean, looking back and all that stuff, are you glad you did it?
Yeah, I mean, readers will find out that even though even though there is some dark and traumatic and horrifying times of my service that people
Right.
will read about, the other 99% of my service was awesome, and I loved my 6 years of service, and it was only because of the uncertainty of the Iraq War at the time that I even got
Right.
out. Because I really loved. I loved putting on my uniform. I loved shining my boots, and we're waking up and running and doing PT. I loved saluting the flag in the morning. I'm getting kind of
No.
emotional. I'm sorry.
That's
Well, no, I
okay.
understand, but that's great that you are. I think that's wonderful. You served your country.
But it's a combination of all these little things of why I love serving. And,
No question. Can you stay with us another 10, 15 minutes? I have to take a quick
Oh yeah,
break.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Rumbaugh with us. I love this. I really do love it. North American Banking Company is locally owned and operated by people that live and work in the Twin Cities. And that means faster loan decisions for businesses that are looking to grow. Go to nabanco.com/Tom to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Being bitten by a dog, being in a car accident, wrongful death suits. These are just some of the unfortunate things you may experience that require legal assistance. Let Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury lawyers help make the unpleasant a little more pleasant by representing you. Just visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com or call 320-259-5414 to reach out and start putting the past behind you.
So Joe wants to know where you went to basic.
Oh, basic training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Oh, there you go. That's
In,
I've spent a little time in that area.
From when was it? March of 2000 till I think I graduated in like July of 2000. So it was like 4 months with basic training and AIT, and then I went home and did hometown recruiter for a little bit. I didn't recruit anybody. And then I went, all I did, I just got drunk and partied the whole time. And then I went, and then I went off to Germany, right after that. And, no, I just had a great time in Germany. I loved it. It was so beautiful. I was stationed in Bamberg, which is, I think the brewery capital of Germany. And so obviously with that sentiment, we had a lot of fun there with the abundance of beer. And
Well, you're in Wisconsin, so I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're
That's
in
why you
Wisconsin.
ended up in Wisconsin.
oh man, Spotted Cow is delicious. If you've never had Spotted Cow beer, it's like my favorite domestic beer now, and it's only sold in Wisconsin. But anyways, I'm getting off subject. I love.
No,
Germany.
you're
I
on
love-
subject. That's fine.
I'm sorry. but I loved Southern Germany and Bavaria, and our base was not far from downtown, which is right next to a beautiful castle called Michaelsburg, and which I talk about in my book. And I met my wife not far from there in a little bar downtown. I talk about in my book, like chasing her down and kind of the funny shenanigans I get into there, where I basically had to I had to outmaneuver one of my friends who was trying to get with her, and so basically one night when he was on duty, I went out and basically just kind of made it happen. So people will read about it.
Chased her down in a nice, cute way.
Yes. Not in a creepy.
No.
I knew what you meant. That Charlie says his brother went to the same place. He did basic there too in the late '60s, and then Joe went to the same place in the '90s. So got a
awesome
tradition.
In Denver, Germany.
Yeah, apparently.
That's
Jay
awesome.
says Fort Lost in the Woods, if that means anything to you.
Yep, Fort Lost in the Woods. That's what we called it.
Jay was a 7IL and Joe was a 31R. I don't know what either of those mean. I'm guessing you did.
I don't. I'm terrible with that. If it's not like 11B or 12B, I don't even know what it is.
11B is infantry.
Sorry.
That's like the only one that. Yeah.
Oh, those are the
And
branches.
I was a 12B. I was a combat engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, your dad was he was infantry, right?
Yes.
He was. Yeah. He got the little rifle pin and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
A little rifle pin.
Well, yeah, he had a whole bunch
There
of little
you go.
pins.
Nice.
How do you bring that all back home with you, Jason? I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's not, you can get together with your friends and having some beers over there and all the rest of it, but then comes the tough part. Will you carry that with you the rest of your life, do you think? Some of the things, the tragic things that happened while you were there?
Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
I think all of us will. And I think all of us are maybe trying to get back to some like a piece of what we had before we deployed. And I think any of us is capable of finding that piece again, even with this traumatic stuff in our head. If you go through therapy and if you talk to somebody about it, I think so. Like I've been going to therapy for a long time, but only seriously in the last few years, where I've actually been going to a steady person and talking about my issues and actually trying to better myself, not just stagnate. And yeah, I guess I just got to, that was another reason why I wrote the book too, is because I feel like I got to a place where I could talk about it and I could inform others and tell our story.
What's so great about that is I was just thinking, a guy told me this years and years and years ago. He said, you know how I knew the therapist I went to did a good job? I said, how? He was talking about, going to the Vietnam War and all that. I said, how? He said, he made me cry. And then after I cried, I felt better.
Yeah.
Have you ever been through something like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's happened lots of times. I would say, So I went through this type of therapy called EMP. Oh, I'm going to do it again. I messed up the terminology. I messed up the terminology on my last interview too. I think it's called EMT therapy or something like that. Basically, I have to hold these paddles in my hand that kind of like vibrate back and forth. And then there's this light that transitions in front of me. And when you she talks me into a point where I'm at a place that's traumatic in my head. Like, for example, she told me to focus on the first IED, for example. And I started focusing on that and everything I went through in slow motion from the moment it impacted me to the moment that we were getting hauled off into the medical vehicle to Fob Warhorse. And so basically, it took a couple times for it to work, but your brain kind of goes into a trance and you almost, you're kind of like awake but asleep at the same time once you let your brain kind of loosen up. And I was able to kind of relive it in my mind. And, you know, it would take a lot out of me. I'd cry, I'd be shaking. But then after like maybe 5 or 6 times of doing that, it felt like I wasn't crying and I wasn't shaking as much. And I'd be talking about it and thinking about it in my mind.
Yeah, I did a podcast for a while with a place called the Face It Foundation. It was called What's the Point podcast. It's like a men's mental health group in the area. And the amount of therapies they have now that are impossible to explain unless you've actually gone through them. It's crazy. Yeah. We had guests talking about these therapies, and afterwards I'd be like, so what is this therapy? And, you know, they might as well have been speaking Klingon at that point. It's like you got to go through it, or you have no idea what it's even supposed to accomplish.
Right.
But apparently it works. It's not like the Sigmund Freud days where you just lay on a couch and tell them about your mother
and crying.
She didn't breastfeed me.
EMDR therapy.
EMDR. Oh,
EMDR therapy. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay, Margaret.
Yay, Margaret.
Thanks for the chat.
I was like
chat, we would know what was
EMT. What?
Electromagnetic something. I'm guessing.
Probably pulse. Something.
I know somebody that did that.
Yeah.
That's like basically for PTSD.
It sounds made up, but it works. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm one of these, I'm very pessimistic, and I kind of just roll my eyes at almost everything. And so I just didn't think it would work. And I don't know, I just kind of, just when you just kind of relax your mind and you just, you give it a try instead of being like me, it actually does work. And that's kind of the message I want to put out to other veterans out there. And it doesn't have to be just EMDR therapy. It could be, you know, there's lots of different therapies, like you said, that, you know, and just find the one that fits you and works. And honestly, if active duty members or service members or veterans aren't out there, you know, talking to somebody or getting help, I feel that they're going to be doing destructive things. And I've seen it too often where, you know, they start going to bars all the time, and they go to they kind of like hang out in these negative areas. And it impacts their life negatively. And where I think therapy could really turn their ways around and get them back on the right track.
Okay, our listener, Margaret, who seems to know everything, she says it's eye movement desensitized reprocessing. No wonder you can't remember.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the What's the Point?
Oh, that's such an easy one to remember.
Yeah.
I know.
So easy. Yes.
There you go.
Oh, so what's the name of your book?
Waves of Shrapnel. It's Waves of Shrapnel, A Soldier's Journey.
Someone in the chat was wondering where we can learn more about you. Do you have a website or anything like that? Or
I have an author page on Amazon. You just type in Jason Rumbaugh and Waves of Shrapnel will come up. My one and only book so far. I am working on a second one, but I don't want to talk about it.
There you go.
It's a secret.
Yes, it's a big secret. Okay, I'll just tell you a little bit. Why not? I'm excited. So,
it's a secret. I'll tell you everything.
Don't even have to
it's a secret. I'm not gonna open it. Okay, I'll tell you.
Yep.
Basically, it's a thriller based in the Pacific Northwest, based on kind of characters from my childhood. And at first, it was just kind of like this funny little story I was working on. I didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. And now I'm like 8 chapters in. So I'm like, ugh, now I got to actually do this thing. And so, yeah. But no, I'm excited.
Jason, have you had that therapy you went through carry over into other elements of your life? And there's a very specific reason I'm asking you that. Did you go through that? Where you started thinking about other things that had happened to you long before that and maybe that you never dealt with?
You mean before?
Well, I'll give you an example. I'll tell you the story. What happened? I'm at Howie's Bar in North Minneapolis, sitting there, and a friend of mine just got out of the therapy that I assume it's the same therapy that he's going through, but this was back in the day. Mm-hmm. So he came in and we're sitting at the bar, and he's telling me about all the things like we are right now and all the rest of it, and we get pretty deep into it. And then he kind of turned away for a second and looked to his right. I'm sitting over here on his left. And I just, sat quietly. And he turned around. He said, "There's carryover, though." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, and he's got tears now streaming on his face. And he said, "I wish my mama had never died." I'm like, "Oh, God, why did you say that?" Did that carry over for you in other areas too?
I would say, honestly, the only kind of traumatic things I ever experienced were just in my time of service. So
Yeah.
I think everything else has been just dealing with that. And I don't have like any other really, I guess I came from, a home with a single mother and we kind of struggled growing up on food stamps. But I mean, that's not anything traumatic growing up. I didn't.
Well, you and
so
I have that
don't
in
really
common.
have any. Yeah. Food stamps. Yeah.
Food stamps.
So basically, no, I guess, no, I don't really have, I guess it carries over in the fact that I've gotten to a place where I can talk about these issues without, and the things that the trauma that I experienced without breaking down and sobbing in front of people. It's gotten to
Right.
that. So I guess, I'm sorry, I guess I should have, no, I think that's the point that you're getting at. And I guess, it's gotten to the point where I'm more comfortable talking about it. So yeah, absolutely. It has helped in other facets of my life.
Well, we just sold one copy of your book.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, I just saw that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we got a lot of listeners who are in the military. Or,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, Simon, you
again, I wrote it. I wrote it for. I wrote it just mainly. It's a dark comedy, and I tried to make it as entertaining as possible. But the most important part to me is that the memory of my fallen friends is honored, and that's why I'm really trying to push my book and get their story out there so people don't forget them, and that's the most important part to me.
That's wonderful.
I will close with this. The other thing I learned, again, going to the bars with my friends that served in Vietnam, was don't piss them off. Not that I ever did, but other people in the bar did, because you ain't going to win that one. I'm just here to tell you. There's no doubt about it.
No, I'm a gentle giant. I'm not even a giant. I don't know why I said that. I'm only 6 foot. But like, I don't even go to those places anyway. Like, I don't. If somebody,
I don't either anymore.
There is some, I think when I first came back from the service, maybe I was a little more on edge, and maybe people shouldn't approach me in a bar. But now I don't feel like I'm that way. Or a lot of my friends, veteran friends, are also just really easygoing now, and maybe that's just because we're in our 40s and 50s now. But
Jason Rumbaugh, it's Rumbaugh. Jason, where can they find your book?
Yes, on Amazon. It's $14.99 for the paperback copy, or $5.99 for the Kindle version. And you don't just to let everybody know, you do not have to have a Kindle, which I've had to say 100 times. Yeah, to my other friends and family. You don't have to have a Kindle product. You can just download the Kindle app onto your phone or whatever and read it that way. So. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
It was a great interview. You did a hell of a job, and I hope you come back soon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And it's awesome. Like, you guys are just sitting around like a family. I felt so comfortable coming on here.
Here's a family.
We've even got a dog on the couch here.
Even there's a
I love it. I love it.
He sure did. Jason, thank you.
Is that a Cocker Spaniel?
Sir.
It's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
So yeah,
they cocker in them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And by the way, I get along with him really well, unless I get in the way when he's going after mom.
In a cute way.
Yeah,
in a cute way. Yes,
she's the only thing he cares about except for barking at leaves.
And squirrels and rabbits.
And rabbits.
Oh, yeah.
And neighbors.
Sparking at
things no one else can see.
Jason, thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
Bye.
Oh, it's a great pleasure.
All right.
Too hot.
Got another great guest coming up in a couple of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. This segment brought to you by Mike Bilski and North American Banking Company. Visit nabankco.com/Tom today. We do have another great guest coming up. Dave Mowry is going to be on with us, a comedian. See, now this is perfect timing because we have a comedian coming up next. Don't you think that's good timing?
Lighten up the
Look,
conversation.
there he is right now, ladies and gentlemen. Just popped up on the screen. Ladies and I was just thinking about that. That's kind of a tough road to hoe. We're talking about a guy fighting in wars and dealing with all kinds of tragedy and all the rest of it. And okay, now Dave, make us laugh.
Hey, oh, hey.
Hey, that's what I do. It's interesting. It's kind of a mental health theme, and my comedy comes from the mental health and the mental health challenges. And it's
Really?
oh yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
love that.
Oh yeah, no, that's where my comedy comes. And first, I have a dad joke. You need a dad joke, I think. So you want some laughs?
Okay, that sounds
Do
good.
you know what? I'm in Oregon. Do you know what the difference is between a Minnesota squirrel and an Oregon squirrel?
No.
The accent.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Mowry is a comic telling his story of living with severe mental illness, one joke at a time. He also teaches stand-up comedy to folks with a mental illness, helping them find humor in their dark days and lost years, thus transforming lives. A best-selling author, Dave's new book, Healing with Humor, Mental Illness to Mental Health, one laugh, one joke, one inspiring story at a time, tells the story of 5 people who have taken his comedy class. And his book, OMG, That's Me, has sold over 22,000 copies. Congratulations on that. His blog posts have over 1 million reads. He is a comic who shatters stigma one joke at a time. Dave has overcome hospitalization and homelessness and shares a story of resilience with complete openness, honesty, and humor to help others know they are not alone. See, that in and of itself, Dave, just letting people know they're not alone and all this stuff. I don't know if they told you this or it was just a coincidence or whatever, but I grew up with a mentally ill father. He was a brilliant man. But when I was 7 years old, I get to watch him being taken away in a straitjacket. And, it was a little tough, got to be honest with you. What do you think of that action?
Yeah, that's 7 years old. That's tough. That's very tough. And those were different times. And taken away in a straitjacket. That's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
the real deal.
So Dave, when did you discover maybe you weren't thinking like other people your age were thinking? How did you discover and when did you discover that?
I think, I've had really bad anxiety. I live with bipolar disorder and severe anxiety. My anxiety, it's just always been with me. I mean, I remember being in, just a little kid in school and just anxiety, and it would come and it would be strong and I'd kind of hide in the shadows, So that's when I first realized it. And I'd see as I got older, things the anxiety got stronger and stronger. And then the other mental health challenges started to come in. And so I'd see other people interacting, having a good time, relaxing, meeting new people, in all these social situations and things. And I'd just wonder how they could do it. And I would, wonder what was wrong with me, why I couldn't, why it just wasn't. Yeah. So, yeah.
Was there a direct cause of your anxiety that you can speak about? I mean, not in depth or anything, but what caused your anxiety as a little child?
No, it's just in me. It's I'm just hardwired.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
pretty-
there's nothing that happened to cause it.
Do you have parents with anxiety?
Yeah, my mom had pretty bad anxiety. So yeah, the hereditary aspect of it, of course. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it seems like I work with children, and it seems like children that are anxious tend to have anxious parents because that's where they learn the behavior from, kind of, and it's also like a hereditary thing.
Sure.
So yeah.
So Dave, you were in the backstage for a little while we were talking to our previous guest. I don't know how much you heard we talked about mental illness a little bit, and I talked about how I've been on a different podcast that we talked about that a lot, men's mental health and that sort of thing. And we had a lot of people on the show with bipolar disorder, and recurring theme when talking to people with bipolar disorder is that people don't know what it is. They think it means like I'm happy one day and sad the next, that sort of thing. But I mean, we had guests that they would have a manic episode lasting 3 months.
Oh,
And in that time, they would, invest all their money in some sham startup, or they would gamble everything away, or, they would almost die doing some insane stunt. And yeah, it would last weeks to months sometimes. And they were just in this state, stuck, and they could lose everything they had because they were just, completely unregulated for so long. In fact, people often said that the manic part of bipolar is the worst because, it's not pleasant being depressed, obviously, but generally speaking, you're not, going and getting yourself almost killed or, throwing everything that you have away or divorcing your wife because you're sure you just met your soulmate at the bar, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the bipolar is the worst of it. You're telling my story in that. I was saying as I got older, my highs got higher, my lows got lower.
Yep.
I was a successful businessman, and things were great. And then I started to go into a manic episode. And what happened was I decided I was the greatest businessman, I guess, or the smartest person in the room. And I started a new company. So I started a new business, and I started it for all the wrong reasons. And I was manic, and I was all these grandiose thoughts, and ran and go. And then finally, when the mania broke and I went into a depressive episode, I had a mental breakdown and lost it all. And so ended up losing everything. We were homeless for 18 months, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I started my 14 last year as my dark days of slowly rebuilding. And so the mania, you're right. You blow money, you do things, you get these grandiose thoughts, and you don't think straight. And the mania, I have regrets from having my mental health challenges, and the regrets from the depression are for things I didn't do, but the regrets from the mania are for things that I did do.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's just like, oh, sometimes I'm very happy and sometimes I'm not so happy. And that's a massive oversimplification, to say the very least.
Yeah, no, it's and the way it works for me, and I think with most people, is say I'm at this stable time, because I have my ups and downs. Everybody has ups and downs. You can be happy, you can be sad, there can be things that create these things. But with the bipolar disorder, it's chemical. It's in the brain, and it just slowly builds. And I'll go from being just normal, feeling normal, to starting to feel good and feeling a little better, and then a little better, then a little better, and then it goes into starts into the flights among the clouds and the grandiosity, and then just overwhelming and talking fast and it lasts for months, if not longer, and then it always breaks, and then you slide down into the depression, and it's a cycle where you go up and you go down, and then there's some calm time in between. Fortunately for me now, I've gotten the right care so that my highs aren't so high, my lows aren't so low. And yeah, I've got my dog, my wife, and my family, and I'm enjoying life. So
that's wonderful. A friend of mine was bipolar, and she said that it was because you're missing a salt in your brain, which is lithium, right?
Yeah, lithium's
a kind of a salt.
Yeah, lithium is a salt, and it's a treatment for bipolar disorder is lithium.
Yeah.
And so, that's not the treatment that I have, but it's definitely lacking in the brain, and other, nobody knows quite for sure how it works, but it's a chemical imbalance in the brain. And, everybody gets depressed sometimes, everybody gets sad sometimes, and the difference with bipolar disorder is just the depth when I was depressed, like when I had when we lost everything and I had my breakdown, I went into depression and I could barely get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed. If I did get out of bed, it was everything I could do to get to the couch, to make it to the couch, just to sit and just to hold it together, just to be. And I slept in my clothes because it was too much to take my clothes off to go to bed, and it was too much to put my clothes on to get up in the morning. And that was years. I mean, this lasted years.
Dave,
So-
what made you turn to comedy? I mean, was that part of your thinking all along, or why did you turn to comedy? I mean, you needed comedy yourself.
Oh
Was
yeah.
that the reason?
Yeah, it's interesting. My wife, thank God she's the hero of my story. She stayed with me during all this
Wonderful.
during my dark days and held us together. And so she's the hero of my story. But she saw an ad in the paper for a stand-up comedy class for folks with a mental illness, and she suggested I go. And so here I was, moderately functioning at that point, I guess. I couldn't work, I couldn't interact socially, but I was able to get out of the house. And so I went to that comedy class, and it changed everything for me because the point of the class was trying to find humor in the darkness and the hard times and our challenges.
Yep.
And once I started to look for the humor in the dark days and the hard times and the challenges, it changed everything. It reframed everything in my brain. Instead of looking at my anxiety or my panic attacks and then, I'd hear a song and it would remind me of a panic attack or a situation. And then I'd have a PTSD attack and go relive that trauma. And, but after taking the comedy class, when I heard that song or when I got that trigger, I said, okay, where can I find the humor in that? And it just changed everything. And so comedy kind of discovered me, and I had no idea. I mean, there was who knew, but I had this ability to write jokes and the ability to tell jokes and the ability to help other people write jokes about their stories. And we don't make fun of ourselves. We just tell our story one joke at a time. It's incredibly healing. It's amazing what the healing power of humor can do.
Oh, there's no question about that. The reason I ask you that is because I go through that same situation. I mean, it's very clear in my head, my father being taken away in a straitjacket and all that stuff. And there's anxiety. So whenever I get a bit of anxiety coming on, even if I don't know the people in the room, I will engage them, not telling jokes, but, having a good time and laughing and doing all the rest of it. And I remember when Catherine and I first were together, she would look at him like, what the hell are you doing? But I think you've adjusted to it now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gotten used to a lot.
She's going with the humor.
Yeah, a lot of adjustment.
So much.
But it's a big part of it when you're going through that kind of horror and that kind of feeling, the anxiety and all the rest of it. Humor is so important in this world. I wish people would really understand how important comedy and humor really is to human beings.
Yeah, it's huge. And it gets us, you talk about the bipolar disorder and the chemical imbalance in the brain, and then talk about humor and comedy and laughter, you have your cortisol, or I'm not sure what, I'm blanking right now, but you've got the chemicals that are released when you laugh and you have a good time and things. And so, that changes things, and it feels good. I remember the first time I laughed after years and years and years of not laughing. And it was just like this huge, like this dam breaking, that's just this huge dam breaking, this relief. And it was truly amazing. But one of the, we're kind of off onto a bit of a sad track here, and there is humor and there is comedy that can be had from it. And I
Yep.
think people listening who are in some, maybe having some mental health challenges or in some sad times or in some dark days, to when we hear humor about some of those situations, it's such a relief when I do shows and people in the audience have mental health challenges or experiences. They always come back afterward and talk to me and tell me what a relief it was to hear somebody
Yep.
talk about what they're going through and then to be able to laugh about it. But I have a joke that's
I love jokes.
I know. I thought you might like the joke.
There you go.
And I'll start with the most popular joke of all. And it's my wife's favorite, and it's the most touches the darkest side, and that's suicide is never funny, except when it is. I was suicidal. I had my time, so I lived it and was there. But I have a gentle suicide joke that I have to tell. And that is, when things were really bad and really dark, I decided to end it all. So I went up into the bathroom and I took a bunch of pills. Afterwards, I called my wife for help. She said, there are more pills under the sink.
See, now that's a good joke. I like that joke.
I know, that's a good joke, right?
Yeah, the dark humor day here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good, yeah. No,
But
that's
it's
a good joke.
wonderful joke.
Yeah.
Right?
And so, it's not making fun of suicide. It's not blah, blah, blah.
No.
It's just, and so I had a fella, I work with people who live with mental illness, and I had a fellow who was suicidal and was having a really hard time. And we had our meeting. And at one point I told him that joke and he just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And, he told me a week later when he thought about, when he had a suicidal ideation, when he thought about suicide, he thought of the joke
Right.
and he laughed. So, it makes a difference.
It does.
Don't you think a lot of great comedians go through a lot of depression and maybe have gone through some very dark thoughts throughout their life? I mean, there's a reason you're driven to do comedy, I think, and that's pretty much true for everybody, unless you're not really that good at it. Basically, I can always tell who's been through this kind of, brain thing, because they're actually really funny. The comedy is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not made up comedy. It's real.
Yeah. And that good comedy is real. It's based in reality. And all my stuff's based in personal experience, the reality of a situation. And then when you get to the punchline, that's where the humor comes in. But when you've been in that experience, in that situation, you have those experiences and it's real and it's raw. And that's where the good comedy comes from. And that's where the good jokes come from.
I'm looking at your bio sheet here, and you've got 2 books.
Yes.
Your first one is OMG, That's Me. And you sold over 22,000 copies.
Yep.
When did that book come out?
That book came out about 6 years ago, I think. Maybe a little longer. I was writing I was blogging for bphope.com, and I was writing my blog posts, and they've been read by over 1 million people. And the most common comment, when I wrote, I talked about the experience of being depressed and what it was actually truly like. It wasn't a 1, 2, 3 steps to getting over your depression or, this type of thing. It was what it's truly like to live with it. And so the most common comment coming from these people was, OMG, that's me. You're telling my story. I don't feel so alone now. And so I took the best of those and compiled them in the book. And it's been a bestseller on Amazon in the mental health category for years and years and years, simply because people read it and relate to it. And they say, oh, yeah, that's me. And I don't feel so alone now.
I don't think it's very, very important for people not to think they're alone. I mean, I do remember back in the 50s and 60s when they started really looking at mental health and what causes this problem, that problem. It's not good for anybody to be alone. And then when you're deeply touched by what's happening to you, you cannot stay. I know a lot of people just go and lock themselves in their bedroom, but it's better to be around other people no matter the outcome, don't you think? Just to have other people around you who support you or try to help you, or you just realize, I'm part of this group, right?
Yeah, I think, the urge to isolate, we get stuck in our heads.
Yep.
And we just get stuck in our heads, and it's the negative and the feeling bad, and it just goes over and over and over. And to get out of that and just to be around other people is really important. Just not to say anything, not to do anything, just to sit, just to be around other people. But it's hard. The urge to isolate is strong and so overwhelming. We don't feel worthy of being in the presence of other people.
That's interesting. Do you know where that came, that you don't feel like, they have to put up with you? I mean, do you know where that came from?
It's just that burden. It's just that from the depression, from the illness itself, we feel like we're a burden. We're morose. We feel like other people are going to have to try to cheer us up. We're, all these kinds of things. So we really don't feel worthy. We feel like we're a burden. It just comes from the illness. And the illness is so insidious. Thank God now we've got more treatments, more medications.
Yep.
We're able to talk about it more. We're able to, more people are understanding that there is help and there is hope. As one of the messages that I share with people is that, when you're in that dark spot, it feels like that's where it's always going to be. But it's not. We can accept we have our challenges without resigning ourselves to being in that spot and staying in that spot forever. So, you do come out the other side. And you come out stronger, and sometimes you come out with skills that you never know you had, like being able to tell jokes on stage.
Yeah, how much time have you spent on stage now?
Oh, I wouldn't know how to quantify it. A lot.
Many years, in other words?
Yeah, many years.
And you've seen great benefit, I'm assuming. I mean, to stand up on stage, first of all, you're the focus, which drawing attention to yourself without comedy is nearly impossible.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is.
No question.
And it's interesting. I get up and I tell my story about the dark days, and I've got, I tell the suicide joke. I have other jokes. I'm thinking. I keep thinking jokes keep popping into my head.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And I might as well share some of them with you since I
love it.
We want to have some fun. One of the jokes I tell is when you have, I know before I was married and I was meeting people and I was dating, it was like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what, right? So what do you tell the person that you're dating? What do you say? When do you say it and whatnot? So I decided we should have a dating service for people with a mental illness.
Sure.
I can see the postings now. Paranoid white male seeks paranoid white female to share compound in Idaho.
Sure. Absolutely.
Paranoid female seeks male with no government connections. Or dual personality female seeks dual personality male for double dates.
See, that's how the world should work. You take the bad and turn it into the good. You take the sad and turn it into the happy. That's a great way. That's very healthy. You're very brain healthy for doing that. I will tell you that.
Oh, it's definitely an interesting therapy because it does.
Yeah.
It rewires your brain.
Yeah,
it does rewire your brain. It reframes everything. And I teach stand-up comedy to folks with a mental illness now, and I see the same transformation happening to them that happened with me, and being able to reframe things, look for the humor in our dark times, and that's what the book Healing with Humor, that's what it's about, is me and 5 other people that have taken the stand-up comedy class. the transition that happened in our lives, and the jokes that we write, the jokes that we wrote, the jokes that we tell on stage. And it's coming out in audiobook in a couple of weeks, but the paperback and the Kindle are out. And yeah, healing with humor. It's the power of humor, and healing with humor is amazing.
You know, the one guy that really pointed that out to me many, many years ago, just watching him on the Johnny Carson show or whatever, Rodney Dangerfield took a guy who was treated poorly his whole life, with tons of anxiety. He turned it around, aimed all the bad comments toward himself. You know, hey, Johnny, I'm not that smart a guy. You know, I mean, he'd do that kind of deal. I watched that and said, this didn't just come from nothing. This came from a lot of hurt and a lot of harm and a lot of sadness.
Very little respect.
And very no respect at all,
Almost,
as a
yeah,
matter of
none.
fact. Yeah, exactly.
Not even some.
But that's the example I think of, is Rodney Dangerfield took what you're talking about in your head and in his head and probably in my head too. He learned how to get that message out. I tell you, I think he helped a lot of people like you're doing now by using humor.
Yeah, and the best humor comes from those hard times. You see the comics, like you were talking about comics. Rodney Dangerfield, you know, taking his challenges and turning them around and making people laugh.
Yep.
And you know, other comics, you see some comedy in some comics, and sometimes it's just you know, swear words and rants and raves, and
Yep.
and sometimes it's other making fun of things. But true good comedy comes from real situations, from hard times, from challenges, from getting to the real core of things, and then being able to look at it and turn it around and find the humor in it.
Yeah, no question. But I mean, the guy I think of now, who just drove through his hometown about 3 weeks ago, Richard Pryor took a horrible life, treated like dirt his whole life, and turned it around to a point where it was hilarious when he talked about it. I mean, he didn't live that long anyway, unfortunately, but I think he had a much better life when he got up on that stage and talked about. And he didn't really point toward himself saying, oh, I went through this horrible deal, blah, blah, blah. He just took all the parts about life and did such a wonderful job making people feel better about themselves, like he was feeling better because he was doing it. Most really good comedians have been through this, don't you think?
I do. There's an intersection of hardship or mental illness and comedy. And the best comedy is where there's an edge to it, and it hits in that reality, and it takes that reality, and then you get that twist, that turn to the punchline, to the comedy and the laughter, and that's where the best comedy comes from.
So when are you coming to town?
Yeah. When the aircraft gets I'd come. I haven't been to Minnesota. I need to come.
I'm sorry, where are you from?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, I live in Happy Valley,
Okay.
which is interesting because I have bipolar disorder and severe anxiety, but Happy Valley is really a misnomer. There is no valley.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, Dave, you got to come back. Do you go on tour?
I haven't lately. You know, I get calls. I've been to LA recently and went to New York, but you know, it's a chore. So
I
not how I make my living. I don't have a private plane like some of these big guys do. So
yeah.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Mowry. Dave, I really enjoyed this today because you're very open and very honest. A lot of people like to hide their, maybe the rough part of their lives. I love the fact that you just come out and talk about it and try to help other people out with it by making them laugh. I think that's wonderful.
it's been great to be with you guys. Thanks for inviting me in to your family.
Well, please come back again. It'd be great to talk to you. All the best to you.
All the best to you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We got to take a quick break right here. Heart of the North Tours had another amazing one you don't want to miss, the Canadian Rockies Tour, September 16th through the 24th, with sweeping vistas, serene valleys, and postcard perfect scenery. Travel in comfort and discover the beauty of places like Banff, Lake Louise, Jasper, and more. For more information, go to heartofthenorthtours.com or call 833-424-2700 to speak to Mike, who is a pro at arranging these amazing tours. Also, it's time for Wellshire, Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire's Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire Medina now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staff memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That would be WEALSHIREMN.com.
What were you trying to tell me?
We don't do the logo anymore for the.
No, we haven't done that in a while.
Oh.
You know?
Way to pay
Pay
attention.
attention.
Way to pay attention, Nana. Way to go.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing when I invoked the term dark comedy on the show.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say you
it's
said
a big
dark
enemy.
comedy, and now it's just
Jeez.
all that we talked about.
Yeah, it was a pretty heavy show today.
It was a heavy show, and I just
But I
finished
think it's
a really
important.
heavy book yesterday
Oh, did you?
about like mental illness and suicide stuff. So I'm like, I gotta go watch Care Bears now.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what's interesting is they're saying that especially American women are just like
Yep.
completely having a tough time, and they're
Yep.
all
Yeah, like the percentage of American women on antidepressants
It's insane.
is like
It's-
wild.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
they're told that they're just, everything's out to get them, and the whole system is set up to make them fail, and the men are going to get you, and the government's going to get you, and
Yeah.
your rights are being eroded, and
That's
it's
true.
the worst thing. Being an American woman is the worst thing in the entire universe, and a lot of women believe it, and they just start shoveling pills down their throat
Yeah.
because they can't handle it.
What is the musical that make them laugh, make them laugh, make them laugh? What was that musical? Margaret.
Margaret knows everything.
Hold on.
No, I just love the fact
Singing in
that
the
we-
rain.
Singing
Singing
in
the
the
Rain.
rain. That's right.
I just love when we have shows like that because that's where great writing comes from. It's where comedy comes from. It's where
Yeah.
there's some serenity involved there. It's like I said, I love the fact, and it came up earlier on the show today, that we don't sit here, oh my God, Democrats are horrible. Oh my God, Republicans are horrible. Oh my, that's the whole world now.
Yeah, it sure is.
Do you know how much anxiety that is causing this country?
That's exactly my point. That's why
Oh.
there's so many people like that. They just
Yep.
nothing but doom propaganda. That's all they consume all day.
Why don't they ever approach it with the,
It lights their brain up.
well, you and I grew up differently. So if you're one side and I'm the other, I mean, if I'm a Democrat or Republican, or you're a Democrat or Republican, there's a reason for that. It's not your bad choices that you made or you're a horrible person. You're just trying to get through life like everybody else is, right?
I believe that everybody's just being used, and
I do too.
he was talking about
I do too.
your brain can be rewired by using positive energy.
Yeah.
It can be rewired by negative energy.
Reverse
but
therapy.
Negative energy it goes viral in a second.
Yep.
And I just think that a lot of people just kind of get addicted to the doom, it's like
Yeah.
porn. They just can't live without it.
Yep.
Why is it that about every 25 years, there's a new wave of, I have to go out and actually harm people because of the way they think?
I think some
Why do
people
we go
benefit-
through that?
Because people benefit from it and they know how to take
Oh,
advantage of
God,
people.
it's just so stupid.
It
I
is
just,
stupid.
I don't get.
I mean, I follow these very nice things. It's all about like food and why
Okay, that's a good
why
point. That's
why
good.
did we have to have 9 hours of sleep? Why did we
Yeah.
change from butter to Crisco? And it's
Yeah.
almost all of it is marketing.
It is.
I mean,
There's
you
no
were
question.
watching a thing today about how many tuna tins
Oh, yeah,
don't even have
they're not
tuna
e-
in
They
them.
don't have tuna in them.
There's no tuna in the tuna
They're
tin.
too tunas that actually are tuna. The others are just this mushy crap
Yeah.
fish.
Like,
yeah, I don't doubt it.
yeah.
Some of them aren't even fish, as a matter of
What
fact.
even what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's
I'm
not
telling you.
wild caught albacore tuna, it can contain
Yeah.
these rough fish that nobody even eats except
Yeah.
for maybe cat food.
Well, we buy like
It's
the
garbage.
line caught.
We buy
tuna.
safe
I know,
catch,
but
yeah.
you know,
Whatever.
Safe
Yeah, with
catch.
the low mercury.
no,
thing.
but I
Yeah,
mean
that's what we
today, with everybody's budgets being
do. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
having a
know.
hard time making ends meet, people are taking out loans to pay their property taxes. You're going to go to the grocery store and you're not going to want to buy the $10 tin of tuna. You
Do you
might
know how much?
the $2 tin of tuna, and it's not even tuna. How is
It's
this
not
a thing?
even tuna.
You know how much protein is in a can of tuna?
It's a lot.
It's insane.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, you're only supposed to eat so many cans per
Oh,
week.
yeah, I
because
know.
of the
I have
mercury
to
content.
cut Fawn off.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't.
There was a
Yeah,
while
there
there I
you
was
go.
eating like 3 cans a day, and I was like, oh, I should probably
Just gonna
not
get
do
some
that.
mercury poisoning.
Yeah.
The point is, it's like avocados that they've taken mountainsides and drained all the water supply for avocados. California's running out of water because of the almond industry.
So why are you?
Right.
It's like what I know. So at some point, it's great information, but at
You-
some point, it's like, do I buy
No, there's
almonds anymore?
No, it's
Do
truly-
I eat them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about this on the show before, but like, I'm pretty sure in like my late college days,
Orthorexia.
I think I developed orthorexia or like was leaning that direction, which
Mhm.
orthorexia is like the obsession with healthy eating.
Yeah.
And because I was reading all these books and the information online and all this stuff about how this is horrible for you and you should look for carrageenan in your stuff because it's linked to this and this is linked to stomach tumors and da 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 da, and it's like it completely
Yep.
took over my ability to even enjoy food because I was like, everything's horrible for you and we're all going to get tumors everywhere
Yeah.
and die.
Yep.
Because it's just like you just can't sit there reading about everything and how terrible it is all the time, because that's literally all you could do all day. You could just look at how horrible stuff is.
Right.
You
Right.
could look up anything,
Yep.
literally anything.
Yeah.
And how are they bad for you? And you could go down a rabbit hole of why anything is bad for you. And
Yes,
it's
you
just
could.
like, all you can do is, do your best and have a good baseline of treating your body well and be nice to people.
I think we should take a page from the books of Ringo Starr, who just turned
Yeah, you should.
84,
And who stars that
84.
for?
and Doc Severinsen, who just turned 99, both yesterday.
Oh
Doc
my
did?
God.
Doc Severinsen,
God.
99 years old. He's
That's
the trumpeter
amazing.
for the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Alex.
He was
Yeah.
on
I was
that
like, who's
band.
that?
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
know
he's
it
the
was.
band
It's a Night
I
Show
don't know who that
band.
is.
I
He was
think
the
they
band
call
leader.
I know
him.
who Ringo
Right.
Starr is, obviously.
Yes,
He's the
but-
best Beatle.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, he's the best Beatle.
84.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that sounds a little young to me, but I don't know. The Beatles feel like the past to me,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
were
Like very,
objectively.
yeah, like
That's
a long
true.
time ago.
I love this show today because I learned a lot, which I always like to learn something. We have a few laughs and all the rest of it. But the message today's show, and it wasn't set up that way, it's just the guest turned out, is have a few laughs once in a while. Feel good. I wish you could trust people, but I'm sorry. Most people, you just can't trust them. I'm not saying that you should turn your back on all people, but just be very careful because I don't know. Some people are just not as nice as they should be, don't you think?
This is true.
Well, and also, like, you just don't know what people are dealing with at any given time.
This is
No,
true.
that's exactly
why
right.
It's like,
Mhm.
exactly. Oh, so Ringo Starr is touring?
He
Somebody
is.
just put on.
He's
the
always
chat?
touring.
Charlie says he's touring this fall.
He's always touring.
Maybe
He's
we
always
get
at
him
like
on the
Oh, 'cause he stopped.
podcast.
He's always at Mystic Lake or something.
Oh,
The
maybe
last
just
time we had him on the
him.
podcast, he said he was going to be only on one more time because he was not going to tour anymore. So he probably will come back on because he used to come on the podcast all the time when he was touring.
I don't remember him on the podcast.
Not this.
He was
not
on the
po- yeah.
morning
He was on the
show.
morning
No, the morning show, not the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
You're
Let's
right. It was
see,
the morning show. That
tour.
was back a while ago.
Yeah,
Will
let's
he-
see if we can get a hold of Ringo.
I would love to have Ray. He's such a nice guy.
He's touring in September and October. Not
Such
in
a nice
Minnesota
guy.
though. Not
No.
anywhere near.
Oh, really?
You didn't realize that Ringo Starr's birthday is your anniversary?
I did
Oh,
not
yeah.
know
It was
that.
their anniversary yesterday.
True.
Happy belated anniversary.
It's true.
We had a wonderful time yesterday on our anniversary. It was great. All right. Any closing words?
I don't think I have anything yet.
I love these shows because
Oh.
we actually help people and ourselves. I love that.
There you
One
go.
of our sponsors, we're going to go do a field trip. We're going to do a facility.
Oh yeah, Welshire.
When are we doing
Wilshire,
this?
Next week at some point, Tuesday or Thursday.
Yep.
I
And that
think.
will be. Will that? Are we filming a commercial or?
Yeah, we'll put up some shorts and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right. So
No question about it. I mean, let's face it, it's probably where I'm going to end up someday. So
Might as
well
well
get
check
used
it
to
out.
it.
Pick out a room. Well,
Okay.
Ollie in the hidden chat says you seem to be doing well. So
What's that?
Ollie in the hidden chat says you seem to be doing well.
With what?
Just in general.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, I think it. Well, first of all, I don't want to get involved in this. I hate that, and I hate this, and this is hate because that's what the morning show was for a lot of times. You know, it got very political at times, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I want to spend time with my family, 3 generations of my family, and talk to my friends. Learn. I mean, both our guests today, I learned from both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for. I just want to be happy. Would like to do a show that talks about, you know, mental illness, but in a good way, about, you know, laying it on the line, all that stuff. I just don't want to hear anymore. I saw this Republican yesterday. No, that Democrat. And it's like, yeah, whatever.
That's all there is.
I just don't
Happy
want
anniversary.
any interest. I have no interest in that at all anymore. I really don't.
Cue,
God bless you.
Cue Barney Rubble. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Every year we
Happy
sing that song.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Jude appears to be ready to leave.
Jude's ready to hit the
Well,
road.
Jude
All right,
knows.
we'll
Ready for
talk
his
to you on
anniversary.
Friday. Thank you.
Yes. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.